Seniors, what if the nuts you're proudly snacking on every day, thinking they're helping your heart and brain, are actually doing the opposite? It sounds shocking, but it's true. Many older adults reach for nuts as a healthy snack, believing that all nuts are good for them. But hidden in those trail mixes and health bars are certain nuts that, for someone over 60, can quietly trigger inflammation, raise bad cholesterol, and even interfere with medications. It's not your fault. Most of us were never told which nuts to avoid after a certain age. You see, as the body ages, it responds differently to fats, lectins, and even trace toxins found in common nuts. What was good for you at 30 might be harmful at 70. That's why today, I'm going to reveal the 4 worst nuts you should never eat, and the 4 best ones that will fuel your brain, protect your heart, and help you age with energy and clarity. And if you're tired, foggy-headed, or dealing with stiff joints and don't know why, this might be the missing piece. Let's begin with a real story. The story of Lorraine. She was 72 years old, widowed, and living independently in a quiet suburb outside San Diego. Lorraine was the kind of woman who always took care of herself. Daily walks, morning meditation, and a pantry filled with health foods. But something was off. When she came to my clinic, she complained of a strange heaviness in her legs. Her memory wasn't as sharp as before, and she'd become unusually tired by late afternoon. No major illness, no troubling test results. On the outside, she looked like a picture of healthy aging. But inside, something wasn't right. After ruling out thyroid issues, anemia, and sleep problems, I started asking about her diet. "Oh, I eat clean," she said with a proud smile. "No sugar, no junk, just fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats. And I snack only on almonds, cashews, peanuts, and macadamias." That's when I paused. I asked her if she ever soaked the nuts or rotated them. She didn't. Every day, the same mix. What Lorraine didn't know was that some of these nuts, especially in large quantities and eaten daily, can lead to low-grade inflammation, clog small arteries, and even cause a subtle decline in cognitive performance. We made a few changes, and in just 3 weeks, she came back feeling more energized, less foggy, and said, "I didn't realize something so small could have such a big effect." So let's break this down. Here are the 4 nuts Lorraine, and maybe even you, should avoid after 60. 1. Peanuts, cheap, popular, and surprisingly harmful. Peanuts might be one of the most common go-to snacks for seniors. They're affordable, easy to find, and found in everything from peanut butter to protein bars. But the truth is, peanuts are not really nuts. They're legumes, and they come with several hidden risks, especially as we age. One major issue is aflatoxin, a toxic mold commonly found on peanuts. Even though most brands are regulated, traces of this mold can still trigger inflammatory responses in older adults. Over time, this can affect liver function, weaken immunity, and aggravate arthritis symptoms. Peanuts are also high in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6 isn't bad on its own, the typical modern diet already contains too much of it. This imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3 creates the perfect storm for chronic inflammation, which is a root cause of joint pain, memory loss, and cardiovascular issues. On top of that, peanut allergies can develop later in life. For someone with a weakened gut lining or slow digestion, even small amounts may lead to bloating, headaches, or skin flare-ups. And the problem isn't just with raw peanuts. Roasted peanuts, especially the salted or flavored kind, often come loaded with preservatives, hydrogenated oils, and extra sodium, raising blood pressure and stressing the heart. So if you're over 60 and snacking on peanuts thinking they're a clean option, it's time to reconsider. There are far better, safer choices we'll discuss shortly. 2. Cashews, Creamy texture, hidden dangers. Cashews are often seen as the buttery nut, soft, satisfying, and a favorite in both savory dishes and desserts. But for seniors, cashews can quietly contribute to major health issues. First, cashews are high in phytic acid, a substance that blocks your body's ability to absorb essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron. For older adults, this can make bone loss, fatigue, and muscle weakness worse over time. What's more, cashews are particularly rich in oxalates, compounds that can build up in the kidneys and contribute to painful kidney stones. And for seniors who may already be dehydrated or on medications that stress the kidneys, regular cashew consumption becomes a hidden risk. Many people also don't realize that cashews are high in calories and can spike blood sugar levels when eaten in excess. Even a small handful contains enough carbohydrates and fats to disrupt a delicate diabetic or pre-diabetic balance. Then there's the matter of processing. Most cashews sold in stores are not truly raw. They've been steamed to remove a toxic shell oil called urushiol, the same chemical found in poison ivy. While they're safe to eat in moderation, frequent consumption may still irritate sensitive digestive systems. Several seniors I've worked with, including a 68-year-old named Prem from Seattle, reported stomach bloating and energy crashes that we later traced back to daily cashew snacking. Once we swapped them out, their digestion and clarity improved. So while they may taste creamy and innocent, cashews are best enjoyed only occasionally, if at all, after the age of 60. 3. Macadamia nuts, fat-rich and hard on the heart. Macadamia nuts are often promoted as a luxury health snack. They're rich in healthy fats and have a decadent, buttery flavor that feels indulgent. But for seniors with any cardiovascular concerns, macadamia nuts may not be the best choice. While it's true they contain monounsaturated fats, they are also extremely high in calories and fat density, which can burden a slowing metabolism. One handful of macadamia nuts can easily contain over 200 calories and nearly 22 grams of fat. For an aging digestive system and a heart that may already be under pressure, this kind of fat load can cause strain. Over time, excessive fat intake can interfere with arterial flexibility, especially when combined with a sedentary lifestyle. Additionally, macadamias are very low in fiber and protein, meaning they don't provide much satiety or nutritional balance. You may feel full temporarily, but without lasting nourishment. I remember working with Clara, a 70-year-old grandmother from Denver who loved her mid-morning macadamia snack. But she was puzzled by her rising LDL cholesterol and unexplained weight gain. Her diet seemed clean, but macadamias were the sneaky culprit. Once we adjusted her portions and introduced heart-friendly nuts instead, her cholesterol dropped within 2 months. While macadamias are not as dangerous as peanuts or cashews, they are best treated as an occasional treat, not a daily habit, especially if you're watching your weight, cholesterol, or blood pressure. 4. Flavored or roasted mixed nuts, a dangerous cocktail. The fourth nut on this list isn't one specific nut. It's the way nuts are prepared and packaged. Roasted mixed nuts, especially those labeled flavored, spicy, or honey-glazed, often contain a dangerous mix of harmful oils, sugars, and preservatives. For seniors, this combination can be incredibly damaging to both brain and heart health. When nuts are roasted at high temperatures, their healthy fats oxidize, turning them from heart-friendly to artery-clogging. Add to that artificial flavors, MSG, added sugars, and excess sodium, and you have a snack that spikes blood pressure, creates brain fog, and increases inflammation. I once consulted with William, a retired 74-year-old engineer from Toronto, who said, "I eat nuts every day. How can I still have brain fog and high blood pressure? Turns out, he was munching on honey-roasted mixes with added oils and salts, thinking they were healthy. After switching to raw, clean alternatives, his energy and alertness returned within weeks. Flavored or heavily roasted nuts can also interfere with medications, particularly those for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinning. Ingredients like soy oil or corn syrup aren't always clearly labeled, and they can aggravate digestive issues and liver function in sensitive seniors. So even if you choose the right kind of nut, if it's processed or flavored, you're not getting the real benefits. Always check the label. And remember, raw or lightly dry roasted is best. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, wait, I've been eating these nuts for years, don't panic. Awareness is the first step to transformation. Yes, those 4 nuts we just talked about might be sabotaging your health. But the good news is, you have the power to turn it all around. Right now. Today. You see, not all nuts are bad. In fact, some are deeply healing. Packed with heart-loving fats, brain-boosting compounds, and anti-inflammatory nutrients, the right nuts can become your silent health warriors, working behind the scenes to protect your memory, circulation, bones, and energy. And the best part? These healing nuts aren't exotic or expensive. You can find them in any local store. The key is knowing which ones to pick and how to eat them properly. I've seen this transformation firsthand, from seniors with fatigue, poor memory, and stiff joints, to individuals reclaiming their vitality just by switching their snack bowl. So now, let's shift our focus. Let's move from what harms to what heals. Here are the 4 best nuts every senior should be eating to stay sharp, strong, and heart healthy. Starting with one that even looks like your brain. 1. Walnuts, the brain's best friend. If there's one nut every senior should keep in their pantry, it's the humble walnut. With their wrinkled surface, they even resemble the human brain, and for good reason. Walnuts are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that helps reduce inflammation and support brain function. For seniors experiencing forgetfulness, mood dips, or mental fatigue, adding a small serving of walnuts daily can create noticeable improvement over time. I recall a patient named Edward, 69, who had been struggling with mild memory issues and lacked focus in conversations. After reviewing his diet, we found no major red flags, except he wasn't getting enough omega-3s. We added a morning handful of raw walnuts to his oatmeal, and within a month, his mental clarity and engagement improved significantly. Walnuts also contain antioxidants, vitamin E, and polyphenols that combat oxidative stress, a key factor in age-related cognitive decline. What makes walnuts especially powerful is that they also support heart health by improving cholesterol levels. Multiple studies have shown that a regular intake of walnuts can lower LDL, bad cholesterol, while boosting HDL, good cholesterol. For seniors, this is critical, as cardiovascular health and brain function are closely linked. Just remember, walnuts should be eaten raw or lightly dry roasted, never in sugary or salty mixes, to get the full benefit. 2. Almonds. Gentle on the heart, great for bones. Almonds are one of the most senior-friendly nuts available, packed with nutrients that promote heart health, bone strength, and steady energy levels. Unlike cashews or peanuts, almonds are low in saturated fat and high in monounsaturated fat, which is great for maintaining healthy arteries. They also contain magnesium, a mineral many seniors are deficient in, that helps regulate blood pressure and reduce muscle cramps. One of my clients, a 66-year-old woman named Sarah, used to get frequent muscle twitches and tiredness by late afternoon. Her lab reports showed no major issues, but her magnesium levels were borderline low. We introduced 8 to 10 almonds daily, along with hydration, and within weeks, her symptoms eased dramatically. Almonds are also rich in calcium and phosphorus, which support bone health, crucial for seniors prone to osteoporosis or fractures. What's more, they have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't spike blood sugar the way other snacks can. This makes them ideal for diabetics or those managing weight. One pro tip: soak almonds overnight and peel the skin before eating. This reduces tannins and makes digestion smoother, especially for seniors with weak digestion or acid reflux. Steer clear of roasted, salted, or chocolate-covered almonds. Go for plain, raw, and organic when possible. 3. Pistachios, for better circulation and eye health. Pistachios are often overlooked, but they offer unique benefits for seniors. They're loaded with lutein and zeaxanthin, two antioxidants that support eye health and help prevent age-related macular degeneration. If you're someone who spends a lot of time reading or watching screens and notice blurry vision, pistachios might help. They also support blood flow and circulation thanks to their natural arginine content, which promotes nitric oxide production. This is important for heart health and preventing the stiffening of blood vessels that commonly occurs with age. I remember meeting Peter, a 73-year-old former schoolteacher from Ohio, who'd been dealing with cold hands and feet due to poor circulation. Once we added a serving of unsalted pistachios to his diet and increased hydration, his symptoms started to improve, and his energy levels rose too. Pistachios are also lower in calories compared to other nuts and are packed with protein and fiber. This makes them a great snack for maintaining a healthy weight without feeling deprived. They also help manage blood sugar and provide lasting satiety. The only thing to watch for? Stick to unsalted, shelled pistachios and aim for a modest portion, about 30 grams or a small handful a day. Avoid the salty bar mix versions. They cancel out the health benefits. 4. Brazil nuts, tiny but powerful for thyroid and immunity. If there's one nut you should eat very carefully but consistently, it's the Brazil nut. Just 1 to 2. Brazil nuts per day can meet your entire selenium requirement, a mineral essential for proper thyroid function, immune system strength, and antioxidant defense. Selenium also helps protect against cognitive decline and supports detoxification, which becomes increasingly important as we age. A man named Harold, 67, came to me with low energy, thinning hair, and mild depression. His thyroid levels were in the low normal range, but we discovered he was chronically low in selenium. We didn't opt for supplements right away. Instead, I asked him to eat just one Brazil nut per day with breakfast. Within 2 months, his mood improved, his hair stopped falling, and he reported feeling sharper and more motivated. The key with Brazil nuts is moderation. Because they are so high in selenium, eating too many can lead to toxicity. You don't need a handful. A single nut a day is enough. And always go for raw, organic versions when possible. Avoid Brazil nuts in oil mixes or roasted with salt, as that affects both their selenium content and digestive quality. For seniors looking to boost thyroid support naturally, Brazil nuts are a simple, powerful tool. Bonus tips: how to eat nuts the right way after 60. Knowing which nuts to eat is only half the battle. The how matters just as much. First, always choose raw or dry roasted, unsalted nuts. Salted, flavored, or oil-roasted versions lose much of their benefit and introduce inflammatory ingredients. Next, watch your portion size. For most seniors, one small handful per day, about 1/4 cup, is enough. More than that can add excessive calories and fat, especially if your activity level is low. Soaking nuts overnight can help reduce compounds like phytic acid and lectins, making them easier to digest. This is especially important for almonds. Also, try combining nuts with fruits or yogurt to stabilize blood sugar and enhance absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. Finally, rotate your nut choices throughout the week. Don't eat the same nut every day for months. Variety is key to getting a full spectrum of nutrients while avoiding sensitivities. And always store your nuts in the fridge or freezer to prevent rancidity, which can cause gut issues or oxidative stress. A little planning goes a long way when it comes to nuts. So, seniors, the next time you reach for a handful of nuts, remember, you hold in your hand more than just a snack. You're choosing between inflammation and clarity, stiffness and flexibility, fatigue and vitality. We've seen how some nuts, like peanuts, cashews, macadamias, and flavored mixed varieties, can slowly harm your heart, your brain, and even your digestion as you age. But by switching to smart choices like walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and Brazil nuts, you can feed your body what it truly needs in this beautiful stage of life. Just ask Lorraine, Edward, Sarah, Peter, and Harold, real seniors who made simple swaps and saw real changes. You don't need expensive supplements or fancy health gadgets. Sometimes health is as simple as choosing the right handful. So go ahead, open your kitchen cabinet, clear out the bad nuts, and replace them with ones that heal, not harm. Your heart, your brain, and your body will thank you every single day.